We shall be perfect.
So after a very disappointing second set, we're on to the third. Killer not looking as nearly as killer-like in this game. He's probably more like, oh god, you freaking moron, slapping himself in the head. If he did pause intentionally, that was kind of stupid, I have to say. If he paused on accident, that's understandable, because the hotkeys are very close together for the volume and whatnot. But yeah, life goes on. And the series goes on to the third set, the deciding set. Here we go. Except, up at the 2 o'clock position in blue. Let's say, it's SoO. Yeah, it's SoO in blue. Love it. SoO in blue, it's SoO in blue. Okay, down at the 8 o'clock position in red. Red is Killer, yeah. Good Killer, although he does not look nearly as fired up as he was in the last game. Let's hope that does not affect his play at all. Everyone makes mistakes, except for Flash. Okay. No, Flash makes mistakes every once in a while. Thinking back, no, actually I can't remember a single mistake that Flash ever made. Never mind. Oh, yeah, effort finals. Yeah. So this is 2-player map. We're probably not going to see any Greedy Expo builds, but I could be biting my tongue about that very soon. The Overlord's coming up for both. And yep, clean start from the last game. The last game we were going to see a pretty good macro game, I think, if Killer hadn't paused. It was cross positions. Both went for 12 hatch. SoO is going for a spawning pool here. This is an overpool build, or a 9 pool. I had to look at that again to see if the Overlord was pumping or not. It was definitely an early pool type of build. The Overlord was not coming up. The Extractor was put down to get up another drone. So this is a 9 pool build from SoO. Going for the 9 pool on a 2-player map like this. And no, Killer! Killer is going out to put down his expansion. Killer, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Killer might have just lost there. This is a very silly build to do on a 2-player map like this. Go safe, man. Go safe. Or your 9-pull opening. Killer has had a lot of success with his 9-pull openings as of late. So, yeah, he would have been well off using it in this one. But the Zerglings are going to be out soon, and Killer is going to have next to nothing to defend his second base. I have no idea why Killer did this. He's a better player than this. He doesn't need to make the same kind of mistakes that Jaedong makes in the finals, anything like that. You don't need to expand. You don't need the advantage. You go for an early expansion when you think you need an advantage over the other player, which he does not. This is not SoO's best matchup by far. And the Zergling's going down, trying to bypass the Overlord's sight range. Another smart little tactic there by SoO. And so SoO is going to get right to the natural expansion by the time Killer finds out about this. Oh my god. So, okay. I think Killer might be able to see this with his Overlord. Yeah, he's going to see the Zerglings with his Overlord. They're showing his face of despair. And, oh dear god, the drone's being pulled off the line today. Yeah, all of them are basically going to be needed to defend this base. He's going to have to let that hatchery take a few shots first. He takes down one Zergling after only losing one drone as well, so that's pretty good, but it just can't micro correctly between the bases. A very awkward position for those drones to be in. The Zergling's out now, finally going to clean this up. But, yeah, here comes the Zerglings yet again. They got speed now. The Zerglings have speed, so they'll be able to focus in on the troops here. Oh, this is so bad. So, drones being sniped at that second base, and it seems that, yeah, SoO is going to be able to get a lot of damage here. Just darting all over the place with his Zerglings, trying to get in there, snipe some more drones. Killer, to his credit, is getting some nice micro here to protect most of his drones. He protected most of his drones. Sorry, freaking gnat in my face. Go away, freaking gnats. Ugh, I gotta take out the trash, I think. Oh, go away, gnat. So the gnats are attacking me as Killer lost a lot of drones. to a Nat attack. Oh, sorry, Zergling attack. So Killer now has a pretty good defensive line of Zerglings at his natural expansion. SoO could definitely keep pumping Zerglings, sending them in, keeping on the pressure of that natural. But now that Killer does have his 2 hatcheries going, SoO is going to have to run in and get something done. Looks like he is going to try to do that. The Nat is still attacking me. I'm very sorry about that. But yes, it's the nature's way or whatever. So Killer defends the natural expansion again from an awful lot of Zerglings. So SoO is going to have a Spire up soon. And let's see if Killer has his spore colonies in time. Without spore colonies, he's not going to be able to survive because he doesn't even have his lair up yet. Hasn't even worked on that lair. So, yeah, this could be very bad times for Killer if he does not have his spore colonies ready. But it doesn't take that long to get the spore colonies jumped, boosted, whatever. I don't know what kind of terminology I'm coming up with today. But, yeah, the evolution chamber coming up. So this should give Killer enough time to jumpstart. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. The term I was looking for. To jumpstart his spore colony production. All right. So no creep colonies put down yet. He doesn't need them quite yet. SoO is still only working off of 1 base. Killer is hanging outside the natural expansion with a few Zerglings. He doesn't have nearly enough to break through. But he's applying a little bit of pressure and scouting at the same time. Got the scouting information he needed, which was no additional Zerglings being built. So he knows that Mutalisks are going to be on the way. Going to have those spore colonies out soon to defend against that. Pretty nicely positioned spore colonies. He has 2 with the natural expansion and 1 inside the main that I see. Usually you want to start out with 3. 4 is kind of pushing, especially when he lost as many drones as he did earlier. He's going to have to rely a little bit on luck from this point. A second hatchery coming up now from SoO on the other side, and we see spore colonies all over the place now from Killer. Has those spore colonies coming up. SoO is going for an Overlord first. Instead of going straight for the base, he's going to take down an Overlord instead, try to get a little bit of damage that way. And now Killer focusing on a lot of Zerglings to defend his front. He can't really afford a sunken colony or anything, so he's going to have to do this basically with Zerglings. And if he can fight back the initial pressure or sneak by, if he can find a way to sneak by with his own Zerglings, he might be able to do this. Zergling sneak by, takes out a drone, almost taking out, he takes out a second drone. So Killer fighting his way back into this game by going straight for the economy. But SoO is building his second base. I think he's building his second base. If that is his second base, that will be his 3rd hatchery. We'll have to take a look at that again, but it does look like his second base is coming down at the natural expansion, which could be very, very bad for Killer. Very bad for Killer if he does have, if SoO is going to have 3 hatcheries available to him to pump. But either way, still a lot of Zerglings hanging out for both players. Killer is going to go for the kill, living up to his name. He's going to try to break through this gigantic Zergling defensive wall that SoO has at his choke. Yeah, the second base is coming up for SoO, so he's going to have 3 hatcheries soon. If Killer cannot do something about this, Killer having to deal with the Mutalisks here, but he might be able to take out this hatchery, trying to draw the attention of the rest of the Zerglings as he takes out this hatchery. The hatchery's going to have to be canceled. SoO does have the presence of mind to cancel that hatchery, though. I've seen a lot of Zerg players who just let it die. So it's a good thing he did cancel, got some minerals back. So Killer is breaking through into the main. Again, he takes down another drone. This is spectacular ZVZ from Killer. I don't know if it's been enough to really fight back into this game, just because, yeah, he does have, he has pumped some more drones. He has his economy back up, but still he's fighting against SoO, who is going to be able to get his air army going now, but he's just focusing on Zerglings. SoO is focusing on Zerglings from these 2 hatcheries inside of his main. Might try to push the front with just Zerglings. Yeah, it seems he's just pumping Zerglings. Very strange strategy from SoO, but it could be the right way to go because Killer is not going to anticipate this at all. This is a lot of Zerglings pushing at the front, and Killer did not anticipate this. He does not have a sunken colony. And obviously he doesn't have any air troops going, so he has to fight with his ground army. Oh, this is a brilliant tech switch from SoO, actually. Well, not really a tech switch, just changing things up by pumping this many Zerglings. Killer anticipated a lot of mutas coming his way, but SoO completely shook it up by coming in, just gonna powerling this thing, push in with the Zerglings, try to take down the second base. Might be able to do it. This is SoO's last gamble because he took a lot of casualties himself, and he doesn't have this. He lost his second base, so he's got to do this right now with what he has on the ground. Killer trying to get a sunken colony going, and his reinforcements unable to clean this up. So, the blue Zerglings still all over the place. Going to be able to take down this sunken colony pretty easily. That's going to be it. Yeah, Killer. Not going to be able to deal with this. He does not have enough Zerglings to deal with this. If he had built a sunken colony earlier, right before SoO got to his natural expansion, he might have been able to do this. But, yeah, without that sunken, he was not able to defend. And Killer could have got back in this game. With a single sunken colony, Killer could have swung this game back and had this game because he did such a good job fighting back. I'm surprised he crumbled this easily, but I guess he just didn't get the information, the scouting information he needed, scouting all the Zergling coming his way. So Killer is trying to clean things up with his Butas, but he had lost almost his entire economy. Yeah, he lost his second base, everything there, just a few Mutas left, 4 Mutas, as all that Killer has to get back in this game, 5 Mutas. But he's not going to be pumping anymore, I think. He has 3 minerals right now. And I don't think you can get a Muta with 3 minerals. I'm trying to remember. No, don't think so. So the Zergling is going to try to eliminate Killer now. He's going for the elimination. SoO is going to force the elimination, and there's not... Whoa, definitely nothing that Killer's going to be able to do now. Just destroyed by Scourge. And that's it. Dear Holy Mother of God. GG from Killer and SoO. The Royal Rotor goes to the semifinals to face the winner of Flash versus Jangbi. So it gets more and more interesting. My boy lost, but it's so interesting to see a player like SoO at Royal Rotor move up. But that was great StarCraft from both. Now let's move on to the one I'm sure you've been waiting for. Flash versus Jangbi. Dun dun dun.